Hello and good morning. Oh, good matcha morning to everybody. I hope everyone is having a grand morning this morning. I feel like poop, but my soul feels pretty good this morning. Everything else feels pretty great, but my stomach hurts really bad, per usual. But I'm feeling good enough to do my matcha morning, so hello. And I am so happy to be here with you guys this morning with some delicious news. Some stuff not so great. Some stuff really great. So I'm excited for it. And I logged into my Twitch way too late, so I couldn't delete my sound alert stuff, which I still cannot figure out. I swear, some things I grasp so well, and then some things just escape me. So I'm still trying to figure out everything, and to be 100% honest, I have not sat down with my Streamlabs in a week and a half. So I've been, of course, focusing on other things instead, like normal. Fun ADHD. Anyways, but yeah, thank you guys for being here with me this morning, and I hope you guys are starting out great. If not, I hope I can kind of scoot you in that direction of having a good grand morning and hopefully a week. That'd be even better. All right, so we're gonna jump on right in here today. So first come is a really awesome story, actually, that I found yesterday. So it's pretty fresh, which is awesome too, instead of a week or a few days old. But a Morrowind streamer is making a podcast series and a book to celebrate its 20th anniversary. And I thought that was pretty awesome. So May 1st, 2022 will mark the 20th anniversary of the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. The alliteration of Bethesda's famous fantasy franchise that brought it into a properly 3D world and set the groundwork for later success of, of course, first Oblivion and later on into the groundbreaking Skyrim and into, the modern day Elder Scrolls Online, which is so awesome, especially for all of us that have played those games since the beginning, just to be able to see how everything has kind of worked its way up to what it is now, very appreciative of certain things, very appreciative. The community behind Morrowind has always been super passionate about the game, but those fires are still burning, of course, 20 years later, and that's a lot of memories and people super involved in this. So to celebrate, one Morrowind streamer is gathering developers, modders, streamers, artists, website owners, and other community members into a single project, archiving 20 years of memories and community action. Danae, a Morrowind-focused streamer, blogger, and modder, has collected several hundred Morrowind memories and intends to compile and edit them into a digital booklet for the community to enjoy, to release as well in May. So I thought that was so awesome. Danae is also releasing a podcast series on YouTube, one that interviews prominent creators in the Morrowind modding community, as well as game developers and artists whose careers have been influenced, of course, by Morrowind. There's also a series of written Q&A style interviews on Danae's website for those of you that would like to go and see that as well. You can keep track of the 20 years of Morrowind podcast and booklet on Danae's website, which is on the blog that I already have up for you guys on my Matcha morning. So if you guys are wanting to see that and to see everything that, is coming out and will come out, and when, the podcast and the book drops in May, you guys can go to that. It's on my sites and sources on my Discord. Super easy to get to, and it's right at the bottom of the blog itself if you're wanting to get to it quickly. But I thought this was awesome. I love Skyrim. I love the whole lore of everything and everything that's involved. I'm going to be really honest. I'm very partial to anything that has to do with dragons and magic and elves, and if it's set in a Renaissance medieval era, you can fucking count me in. So, these games are something that I really enjoy, especially Skyrim. That's something that me and my best friend Kelly go back and forth with, like, all the time. There's always, like, every year, as soon as it starts to get winter, like really winter, like November, December, somewhere around in there, is when it's time to restart Skyrim again, because it just fits. It fits so well. So, you know, I was really excited about this, and I know a few people that are going to be super excited about this as well. So, like I said, if you guys are wanting to check that out, definitely check out my sites and sources on my Discord so you can get in on all of the Morrowind goodness. So I found another story too that was really feel good, because I love feel good stories, and I'm not one for like, check out this little puppy, just because, if it's like adopting and things like that, it's a different story. But I love feel good stories, especially about things that really make a super impact on people, or just, kind of life in general. And I found this story about this lady's son, and her son was being extremely bullied in school for, a lot of different reasons. He apparently stood up to a bully because he, quote unquote, the kid who was being ugly to his friend called his friend a slave and demanded that he carry his cello. So her son stood up to this bully, and it ended up not being a great idea for the kid. He started getting bullied a lot. A lot of really ugly people, especially early in this kid's lifetime as well. Just different things that have gone on since then. And they could really start to see a huge change because of all of this bullying that was going on and things like that. And of course, like most stories, when they try and get it taken care of, especially with schools, it doesn't necessarily work out. What's really cool is they're also musicians as well, which I thought was very beautiful. And musicians are a lot more empathetic when it comes to a lot of things. So that really hit me a little bit as well. But what I really, really loved was, despite all of the things that this kid has gone through, despite all of the different places that their parents have tried to fix things, have tried to outreach, different stuff like that, he actually ended up finding a really, really good, next positive step in his life through video games. And he actually, this kid ended up becoming friends with quite a few different players through beta testing a game called Bleak. And he ended up meeting different people and different stuff like that. Not to mention, he got some real people in his life that made a really big impact despite a lot of things that he was going through. And that's a lot of things that his parents talked about as well, was the big change of, him not wanting to talk very much, him not being, very outgoing as much as he used to be, not wanting to play, especially being a musician. That's really hard. But I thought it was so amazing because you hear so many things all the time, about video games, and, people make excuses for like a lot of different things. But video games have really been an outlet, especially for people that have dealt with bullying. And I thought it was so amazing that this kid could feel like absolute, at the bottom of things, and find people and find a group like him, people that he can really connect with. And it makes such an impact on your life. And it did, especially on his life, and I love, like I said, stories like that, especially when it revolves around being able to be connected in those ways. Because even though, there are big differences between, playing outside with your friends versus playing in video games, a lot of things are the same. You still have a lot of critical thinking. You still have a lot of teamwork, working together in general. There are so many things that come from it that are so positive. And I loved this, like I said, so much because it was just another beautiful story of a kid being able to go from not wanting to be around in life to now I have a lot of really great friends. and reasons to understand, how beautiful life can really be. So I love this so much. And if you guys are wanting, intimate details about it and things like that, you guys are also welcome to go on my Discord on my sites and sources. I just wanted to, to retell the story a little bit quicker because it is a very long story, but it is really, really good. It is one of the feel-good stories that makes you feel, really amazing. So next on the list, and I know I covered it last week. I know I did. And I even went into like super detail of like explaining how the new Halo series was going to go, was explaining the differences between why they chose things, why I thought that they decided to choose things, blah, blah, blah. But it seems like so many people have not gotten the hint about the Halo series. And I started to comment on things on social media because I've been, super sick this past weekend again. And I was just, laying in bed, watching TV and scrolling through, different things and just wanting to not tell people off, but be like, man, just look it up. just a quick, read a couple blogs about some of the stuff before you guys get super upset. One of the biggest things that everyone is so upset about right now is the fact that the new Halo show is not like the Halo series, like the games and everything. And I understand that. And that is why Paramount and everyone has decided not to do that storyline, because to be honest, and everyone now that I'm reading through, different stories, different people's opinions and things like that, most of the opinion of it weighs on the fact that they don't want to screw it up. Because when it comes to fan base, everybody knows if you don't do it right, the fans, they're going to come after you. And of course, there are, little things that you can get away with when it comes to, certain things, when it comes to books and blah, blah, blah. Like even the Witcher series, did a really good job on kind of creating their own story while still staying really true to a lot of different things, which was really cool. Not everybody's really happy about it, but, for the most part, it was pretty cool, especially with the lore and things like that. But when it comes to the Halo show, they knew not to screw with it. And so that's why they decided that they were going to do the quote unquote silver timeline. And like I was, stated last week as well, which was, it is alike to and keeps true to the lore, but it is not the same storyline. It's a completely different timeline than what the actual games are. So, you've got different characters, different story, all of that different stuff, but it still takes place in the same universe. So that is, what I was hoping that people were going to understand, but they didn't. And a lot of people are really angry, and I don't really know why. But, and mainly, I do know why. Mainly because people haven't read anything, and they didn't see my Matcha morning. They didn't know. So tell your friends so that way they're here next time and they can get, the nitty gritty details and just listen to it. So that way, they're in the loop for all the different stuff and they don't look, a little special trying to get upset about something they shouldn't be upset about. So, but if you guys are on Xbox Ultimate, I did say this last week as well, but I wanted to kind of remind you guys, on top of that, but if you guys are on Xbox Ultimate, you can get a month's worth of Paramount Plus for free. So that way you can watch, I believe, the first 5 episodes of the new Halo series as they are coming out, which of course is enough to hook you, so, but if you guys are still wanting to check that out and you do have Xbox Ultimate, definitely, take the opportunity to be able to do something like that. So, it's free. So why not? Why not? Okay, so speaking of Xbox, there are some new games that are coming out on Xbox Game Pass. 2 more games confirmed, to be exact. So Xbox Game Pass has announced and released a significant amount of games over the past few months. And for those of you who do have Xbox Game Pass, you know that they have been adding things secretly as well. So definitely pay attention if you do have it, so that way you guys stay in the loop for free games and things that come your way. This past week, Xbox Game Pass has added 6 different games, including Zero Escape Trilogy, F1 2021, The Ultimate Subscribers. Next week, things definitely aren't slowing down, with both Crusaders Kings 3 and Weird West arriving as day one Xbox Game Pass launches. So looking forward to 2 new Xbox Game Pass titles have been confirmed during the Future Game Show Spring Showcase for 2022, the event. The first game confirmed during the Future Game Show presentation is Turbo Golf Racing. So it's kind of like Rocket League on a golf course, which is interesting in itself, which Rocket League was pretty freaking interesting. The very first time that I heard about it, I was like, I'm sorry, what? Soccer with cars? The entire concept of Turbo Golf Racing should make sense, based off of that. Players race down a golf course, keeping their ball in front of them. Along the way, if Turbo Golf Racing players hit their ball through a mid-course goal, they can earn boosts that launch their ball forward, or Mario Kart-like power-ups with which to attack their foes. Turbo Golf Racing will launch day one on both PC and console Xbox Game Pass for Xbox One and Series X and S. The second Xbox Game Pass release confirmed during the Future Games Show Spring Showcase, that's such a tongue twister, is named Marauders. And Marauders is an exciting new project from Small Impact Games and was originally funded through FIG as Marauder. It's a first-person shooter pitched as a tactical sci-fi space pirate game with 4-player co-op, which is awesome. Think kind of like Diesel Punk Borderlands meets Escape from Tarkov. So as players will raid ships for loot, compete with other teams, and then have to survive and escape to keep their ill-gotten gains. Marauders is PC exclusive, so will only be available to PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. So if you guys are wanting to check those out, you can as well. So new releases on Xbox Game Pass continue to come at unexpected speeds, which is awesome. At least 19 games have been added to Xbox Game Pass in March. So we're definitely expected a lot more, especially for April. And as, spring really rolls around, we're going to see a lot of different stuff come out for everybody, which is so awesome. And speaking of that, actually, of new beautiful things that are coming out, if I can get my thing to open. Okay, there it goes. Okay. So, new beautiful things. Look at these babies. They are beautiful. And these are the new Xbox controllers. And from what I have been reading, they are a lot nicer than the PS5 DualSense remotes. So earlier this week, Xbox released 2 bizarre custom Sonic-themed Xbox controllers. But already we've been treated to a look at the game's console's spring collection of controllers, and I am also seriously in love with some of these colors. Like, they are so springy, it's not even funny. In perfect shades of pastel pink, purple, blue, yellow, and white, the new Xbox Series X and S controllers collection is brimming with some serious spring vibes. It's so springy, but the designs aren't just a pretty face. These controllers have a special feature to enhance your gaming experience as well. Make sure you also check out the guide where you can buy the Xbox Series S controllers as well, which is also on my sites and sources if you guys want to check that out. They are partnered with PowerA, OtterBox, and 8-Bit Do. Microsoft has created 6 different controllers with 3 different designs to enhance play. The Power 8 remotes, the controllers with the white wires, also feature 2 programmable gaming buttons on the back of the design as well, which is what's kind of starting to change a lot more, especially when it comes to controllers, which is so cool, especially certain games. It's so awesome. 8-Bit Do's design, the pink remote with the black wire, also features 2 buttons on the back of the design. But the fun does not stop there. The remote also features button mapping, so you can adjust everything from the vibration to the trigger sensitivity, which is awesome, especially because certain games are really serious when it comes to that vibration. The OtterBox design is particularly interesting in the color lilac, which is actually called Lilac Dream. The controller case sits tightly on your Xbox Series X and S controller on a durable case. The clear glitter shell fits on the remote and houses customizable grips that you can swap onto your device, which is awesome, especially for my customizable people. This case is perfect for any of those gamers with gamer rage, cough cough, but it is super sturdy. The designs will set you back between about $35 to $45, considering how nice, they actually look. Those are, pretty top tier, especially for how pretty and how nice, and all of the extra little buttons and things that are there as well. So, when it comes to how much they actually are, that's actually not really that bad. And they're so cute. I love them so much. It's my favorite time. One of my favorite times is spring. So I love the spring colors and things that are coming out at the time. And man, Xbox, you guys did a good job. You really did. So there's also, there's also some really cool stuff coming out with Netflix as well. And of course, it's still close to the beginning of the year, and now that springtime is here, everybody's going to want to be, pushing things out now that summer is on its way, getting everybody kind of set up for that. But for those of you who have been following Netflix and just kind of the way that gaming is being pushed anyways, you guys do know that Netflix will be doing different games in general soon. So the specifics on that, they've not 100% come out on, which is really interesting because they seem to kind of be going more towards mobile games instead of television games, but I don't think it's just going to stay with mobile, but that's just me. So Netflix subscribers should be super happy right now, and if you guys don't know, then I will go ahead and let you know. There are 3 games for free through their account with this mega streaming service. One is an educational game to promote World Water Day, which is so cool. One is a harrowing and gritty zombie shooter, and one of them is a remaster of a banger from PlayStation 3. Of course, there is still residual sting of the fact that Netflix hiked its prices for its customers. So the basic plan is its rise from $9 to $10. The next plan $14 to $15.50, or the one that I get, which was $18, and it had just raised again not too long ago because I was paying $16, then it went to $18, and now it's $20. So I don't, Jesus, but when it comes to some of the stuff that they're coming out with, which is why they are actually raising their subscriptions right now, because they are trying to get a little bit more into the gaming industry and things like that. A lot of people are going to be paying just a little bit more, I would imagine, for just a little while until they start to roll out their stuff. So you will see a lot more benefits. And this is one of the benefits that they are coming out with to kind of help you along with it. So all you need to do to grab these goodies is have an active Netflix account and an iOS or an Android device to play the games. The first on the list is This Is a True Story, and it's an emotional narrative experience using real-life events and interviews to show the journey of a young girl's search for water for her village. It's got a gorgeous hand-painted art style as well as original soundtracks and environmental puzzles, and it was also developed in collaboration with charity Water to Time with World's Water Day. So that's pretty friggin' awesome, especially because it is about World Water Day. The second is Into the Dead 2, which is expectedly the sequel to Into the Dead. The trailer is kind of given major Telltale's The Walking Dead vibes, which is hard to get away from here in America, apparently. And there are multiple endings to explore, as well as additional story events that put your survival skills to the test. The player is able to adopt a dog in the apocalypse, and that's pretty freaking awesome. Otherwise, it's, from what I hear, kind of emotional as well. So third on the list is Shatter Remastered, and this released in 2009 for PlayStation 3. This game was heavily influenced from Breakout, and the remaster only exists thanks to a random post on the internet wondering if it would ever happen. So I thought that was pretty awesome as well. So if you guys would like to check out those, all you have to do is have your Netflix account and, of course, have an iOS or an Android to be able to play those games, which is another reason why a lot of people think they're going towards more mobile games, because it's like, boom, mobile instead of television. But we'll see what that happens. But yeah, I probably won't. I definitely want to download the water game because I thought that was pretty cool. If I download the zombies game, I'm just going to be sitting on my phone playing zombies all day, and that's not good. So if you guys do happen to play some of these, let me know about them so I can see, and let me know, if you guys like them and things like that, especially because this is kind of Netflix's first baby step into gaming without actually announcing again that this is what they're doing. And I was very surprised too that I didn't see a lot more like tweets and things about that, like, oh look, the first step. But it's Netflix's first steps, and it's going to be exciting. Everybody's going to be into gaming soon. Okay, so speaking of exciting things, Project Spartacus apparently is going to launch next week, says reports. So Sony will reportedly reveal their arrival to the Xbox Game Pass service by next week. The video game subscription service has been in development under the codename Spartacus and is expected to bring first and third-party titles to the mix. According to Bloomberg, who had also reported on the existence of such a project, the service will debut the recent titles. However, unlike Game Pass, users should not expect big releases like God of War Ragnarok to appear on the platform right at launch day. The subscription-based model will blend two of its current services, which is PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus, basically into one. And for those of you on PlayStation who have already begun to notice those changes, because apparently it was happening to people without them being told, like, at all. And they were just like, hey, this is really weird. Now it's just one. So apparently this is actually going to be 100% of a thing, and it will happen next week. As confirmed by game journalist Jeff Grubb late last month, the service will be divided into 3 tiers: Essential, Extra, and Premium, priced at $10, $13, and $16 a month, respectively. This also aligns with Bloomberg's claims, which state that the most expensive tier will unlock extended demos and ability to stream games over the internet, like cloud gaming. It's also expected to provide access to classic games featuring a roster from previous PlayStation eras like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3, which is really, really awesome because a lot of companies are starting to go to that as well, especially like Nintendo, bringing a lot of different things back and adding them to their platforms. So this makes a lot of sense, especially, Sony wanting to go in that direction. Sony has yet to comment on these reports, even though it is happening. And there isn't any word on the price distribution and the packages either. For reference, the PlayStation Plus services cost about $4.99 a month. And $29.99 for an entire year. PlayStation Now, on the other hand, is priced at $10 a month and $60 a year. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm excited to see how exactly they're going to do it, but I just think it's really weird that they didn't say anything. Like, especially now, because people's PlayStations and everything are already starting to change. And, like, it's not taking money out for their Now. It's coming out for their Plus, even though they're still getting Now games. So, it would... I don't know why they don't say anything. Anyways, speaking of not saying anything, Nintendo has finally released a statement on the Wii and the DSi shops being down, which have been down for a little while now for those of you who have been trying to get on it. I'm sure most people are aware, but Nintendo really hasn't said very much about it. Kotaku has received a statement via email from a spokesperson for Nintendo. However, they didn't really say very much. So according to Nintendo, the Wii eShop channel and the Nintendo DSi eShop are currently undergoing maintenance. We will provide an update at a later date. So not very much has come forward from it, like it says. But when it first started happening, there were so many people that were on Twitter trying to figure out exactly what was going on. I'm kind of surprised that Nintendo really hasn't said anything about it, or at least sent a tweet out. Like, it's very easy to tweet. It's as easy as sending an email, and I don't know if people from Nintendo know that, but it's very easy to be like, sites are under maintenance, 3 or 4 days ago, instead of, waiting for very long and then not saying very much about it at all. So I will, of course, keep up on that. I always keep up on stuff that just for some reason isn't working. So things that are working and that I was kind of excited to hear about. Call of Duty apparently is reportedly finally coming to Nintendo Switch. So I am excited in a few different ways, but I'm also kind of wondering if this is like a new contract because they've lost a lot of money here recently. So both the Nintendo Wii and the Nintendo Wii U had various Call of Duty titles come to each platform at one time or another. But since the launch of the Switch in 2017, Call of Duty has only appeared on the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC hardware, based on what one insider has now revealed, though it shouldn't be true for much longer. So according to a credible video game insider that goes by the username Ralph's Valve on Twitter, for those of you guys that would like to follow him, a lot of stuff he has is really super cool. Nintendo Switch owners will be getting one of the most beloved Call of Duty games of all time at some point in the future. Specifically, that game in question happens to be the remastered Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. First released in 2007, Modern Warfare became one of the most critically acclaimed titles in the series and sparked a mainstream appeal that has lasted ever since. In 2016, Activision ended up remastering Modern Warfare for the current gen hardware, but since the Switch wasn't out at the time, Nintendo's platform wasn't included. So now it kind of sounds like Activision could be looking to bring Modern Warfare to Switch after all of these years. So like I said, it kind of makes sense on a lot of different scales as to why they finally are doing that, from, lots of games coming out and people choosing other consoles for certain specific games. It only makes sense that Nintendo would want to kind of open up a little bit more. But at the same, point, I would imagine that Activision is probably doing this because they have lost a butt ton of money, especially these past few years over all the allegations. So, I'm hoping that this will be pretty sweet. And I'm hoping that other games will be able to be on there as well, which is why I chose the picture that I did. Because if there were other Call of Duties on there too, I'd be real happy about it. So, that's just me. So some more good news. Bioshock Infinite is receiving constant PC updates, but no one knows why. So Bioshock Infinite has been receiving dozens of updates every month since late last year. This was spotted by fans earlier this week, which has many hoping that there's something in store big for Bioshock news soon. The updates started in September of 2021 and since then have increased about every month, starting off at around 7 updates in 2021 that moved on to hitting 10 consistently in the new year. There have been 13 changes in March alone, with the most recent being just 2 days ago. So it's anyone's guess what actually this could mean, although many are adamant that this could mean something for Bioshock. One theory is this is gearing to Bioshock's Infinite up for the Steam Deck, as it is currently not officially compatible on the hybrid console just yet. More optimistic fans are hoping that the updates point to a full-blown remaster, which is what I kind of think will probably happen, because it's going to be a lot easier to be able to bring a remaster out once you've fixed and debugged and started changing things around. Much easier to layer after that. One which would replace the original release of Infinite on the storefront. This is not unheard of course, as GTA Trilogy recently also did that as well as, the releases on other things, not just that. A third less exciting possibility is that this is actually 2K's game working on its own launcher, given how many gamers would still refuse to download the Epic Game Store, even for an exclusive they like. This isn't likely to go down well, of course, with the community. Again, still going back to the GTA Trilogy, the messy release hardly endured players towards the idea of multiple launchers. When the highly anticipated remasters released, the launcher needed to actually play them went down, locking PC users out of playing a game they bought for several days. In turn, this could mean that other Rockstar games couldn't be played as well. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see if this amounts to anything. But I thought this was really, really interesting because, even though, it could be a remaster, it could be something, really cool, maybe a new DLC that's kind of on top of it. I don't know. But I would just kind of like a new Bioshock in the series. I think that would be really freaking awesome. But, that's just me holding out for a really expensive game that I can't buy. So... But I still thought it was pretty awesome. So I wanted to let you guys know about the Bioshock juiciness. Oh, Lord. There we go. It's so tiny, no one can see it. So for those of you who have seen the news, Among Us servers have been taken offline after a DDoS attack. And the Twitter update for this was just freaking hilarious. So players of the popular social deception in space game Among Us began having difficulty connecting to servers March 24th, after which developers Innersloth had to take servers offline to deal with the problem, which is apparently the result of the DDoS attack. Or as the charmingly informal Among Us Twitter account put it, "We have a sabotage going on, LOL," which I just loved because there's only certain times that you can make jokes like that. And this is the perfect time. Servers in North America and Europe have been taken offline while Innersloth works on fixing the issue. A follow-up tweet explained that they may come on and off, but will update you when they think they are 100% completely stable. This isn't the first time someone has targeted Among Us. Back in 2020, a hack filled its lobbies with bots who repeatedly spammed messages, after which players would be despawned and left in a black room before being completely disconnected. The messages being spammed tried to convince players to subscribe to the hacker's YouTube channel or else he would kill your device, after which they signed off with Trump 2020. Among Us first released in 2018, but became an unexpected hit in 2020 because, everybody loves to lie sometimes. Thanks to a combination of lockdown-induced desperation or, something to do with friends online in general, and completely going viral on Twitch. There is the full story of Among Us as well that you guys can see at the bottom of that blog on my sites and sources. But I could not get over the Among Us Twitter guy coming forward and saying that. I just thought that was amazing. The Twitter account literally being like, "We're dealing with a sabotage." LOL. Because there's only certain times that you can make jokes like that. It's freaking hilarious. I love that. I love that so much. Which I also live off dad jokes. So, if I had no dad jokes, I don't know if I could live. So... but thank you guys very much. That is all that I have for today for my delicious matcha morning. And I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a good time and lots of really great stories and lots of getting semi-upset about things, but also laughing. And I love that. I really enjoy doing my matcha mornings, even if people aren't here necessarily, for the live, being able to see people comment and talk about, some of the different stuff that they really like about it and things like that. I've always enjoyed doing things like this, but, getting into it and trying to wrap my head around how to do it and all that fun stuff has been hellacious in a lot of different ways. But I enjoy it so much, and I of course enjoy talking about video games and talking about things that I like. And like I said earlier, if it has anything to do with dragons, magic, elves, and set in a Renaissance medieval era, you can fucking count me in. Jesus. So, I love, sitting here and talking about a lot of different things and, kind of keeping you guys informed for some of the stuff that you may like and things like that as well. I don't necessarily like to be front and center on gaming news and in your face of things, but I do like to kind of create a nice, like, little wholesome, bits of things that, like, I really enjoy, I guess. I don't know. But thank you guys. I really definitely appreciate you guys being here today. So onward to my stuff. As you can tell, I have fallen behind again, and I know you guys love hearing those words. I know you do. But I have fallen behind again. I will be spending this week catching back up and doing a little bit of extra things as well. I've got a little bit of help this week too, which is really awesome. My mom's here, so my mom will be able to help me do some things. Love my mom. I love you, Mom. But I will be definitely catching up with everything on my Buy Me a Coffee. And for those of you guys who don't know what that is a place to become a member, or you can contribute towards all of my gaming endeavors and things that I want to do. Help me pay my bills. And it's also got a whole bunch of really awesome free stuff on it as well. So don't let the whole, like, give me money or become a member thing, get to you. I have a lot of free stuff, which was the point, because I didn't want, necessarily everybody to have to pay to get my things. Like, I want everybody to be able to gain something from, the things that I do. So I do have a lot of really awesome free stuff on there, different blogs that you guys can read. And of course, at some point, all of my blogs are available and will be out, for everyone's eyes to see at some point. So even if you don't contribute or become a member to my stuff, everything at some point you'll be able to look at and go through and read and all that fun stuff too. So I definitely want to make sure that I do that and explain that to you guys too. Because a lot of people will be like, I don't want to become a member. And I'm like, you don't have to. You don't. And you can follow as well. So, like, if you guys want to create a Buy Me a Coffee, just to kind of, like, follow different creators and things. Because there's a lot of different creators, not just me, that use Buy Me a Coffee, which is pretty awesome, or Patreon. But you can sign up for that and you can follow as well. So that way you guys know when things are coming out. But I will be avidly working this week towards a lot of different stuff. I've also been avidly working at my home. There's a lot of things that have gone on, like specifically like with my health and things like that I've been seriously trying to change, from the clothing that I wear to the food that I put in my body and like things like that, because I have been extremely sick with my endometriosis and I hate it. So I have been avidly working towards making that better, because it inhibits me from doing a lot of really amazing things that I really, really want to do. Like, you guys have no idea. I will wake up sometimes to stream, like, for my gamings, and I'm like so sick, and I'm like, why? Like, I can't even sit up straight for you guys to even, like, see my face and what's going on. So I've been avidly doing that, and good news, I do have an appointment with a pelvic pain specialist, which is really cool because they are super into holistic medicines. And I have been searching for doctors and surgeons that kind of go in that direction. I'm not against Western medicine, but I am definitely an omnistic human being, which means, that I try to look at everything when it comes to health. So I like the idea of being able to change things a lot naturally, especially things that I can change naturally, things that we know, like the certain foods that I'm eating and how I'm eating them and all of that different fun stuff. So I'm excited, and I will also be working this week on my endometriosis stuff. I think I finished my first blog story, which basically brings you up to present day. But it's just basically my story of everything that I've kind of dealt with, which is really big for me because I haven't necessarily been super honest, especially with the people around me, about, the way that I've felt, with the kind of pain that I've been in, things like that. And a lot of it, had to do with a lot of different things. So if you guys are wanting to check that out, and if you guys are wanting to read my story on it, I will have that up sometime this week as well as some other delicious stuff too. So, not just like semi-sad shit, but I'll also have, my gaming and my anime and different things like that I'll be working on this week as well, because I've just got to boom, get it out there. But I did want, you guys to know a little bit more, and so that way you guys are in the loop. And something that I've been trying, especially lately, just in life in general, and I want it to really kind of umbrella itself over everything in my life, which is transparency. And I try my best, and I have been trying my best to be transparent with everyone. So I wanted to be, as transparent as I could be with you guys as well. I think, not just because endometriosis isn't something that people even friggin' know about, but people, need to be aware of the things that are going on and, stuff like that, because nobody can help if you don't say anything, and stress is something that causes a lot of issues. So I've been, trying really hard, especially, like I said, to be very transparent and to be very honest with people. And it's very difficult. I don't like feeling sorry, but I still have to get across, how I feel and what I feel like and things like that. So it's a work in progress. I'm getting there, but my soul feels really good, and I'm really happy about that. Like, my insides feel better being very transparent with people. So I've been trying, to be transparent with you guys as well. But I will have some stuff out with that, so you guys can know what's going on. And I will probably keep an updated blog on my Buy Me a Coffee for my endometriosis. So that way you guys can kind of know, what's going on, can get a little bit of updates, once I go to the doctor and things like that, and get a little bit of a better idea, of what's going on and whatnot. So that way you guys can know as well, and maybe even help you guys through some stuff. Like, you might not have endometriosis, but you might have pain, and you could read something and be like, oh, that's like a super anti-inflammatory. I'm going to eat that and see how that works. And then it helps. And then, we're all doing great. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in what I want to do with it. And I'm pretty confident, especially within myself. And I'm very proud of myself, especially like as far as I've gotten, not just with the things that I feel like I deal with, but, just how far I've gotten with the things that I want to do as well. And I can't wait to see where things go from here. So definitely stay in touch with me. I'm on pretty much every social media. Definitely check out my Buy Me a Coffee, and if you're so inclined, subscribe and follow on my delicious Twitch, where most of my stuff is right now. At some point I will be on YouTube, but me have no money for that, so it's not happening right now. But other than that, thank you guys very much. I definitely appreciate you guys always being here and always checking me out and stuff like that. And I always enjoy talking with you guys. I really do. Especially all the different people that I've met over time. You guys are awesome sauce. So yeah, thank you guys. And without further ado, I leave you to a wonderful rest of your Monday morning. And I hope the rest of your week is just as wonderful as well. And you kick this week's ass with the awesome person that you are. And if you're not feeling that way, start taking some baby steps, because you guys deserve it, and you are beautiful, and you are so beyond worth it. It's not even funny. You are stardust. I love you. I know you can do it. I know it's a lot of ones. But thank you guys. And I will be seeing you guys, and hopefully I will be streaming all of the rest of this week as well. So definitely stay tuned and look at my schedule so you guys know where I am. Yes. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. And I will be seeing you Wednesday for my Smite Morning. Bye, guys.